Let us start. I welcome all of you. Let us start the session with a prayer. Close your eyes. Relax. Let us chant Omkara 3 times. Inhale. Om. Inhale. Om. Inhale. Om. Let us offer our respects to Patanjali Maharshi. Repeat after me. Yogena Chittasya Padena Vacha Malam Sharirasya Cha Vaidyakena Yopakarottam Pravaram Munina Patanjalim Pranjalim Anatosmi Nityam Harihi Om. Let us pray, offer our respects to our Gurus. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Let us offer our respects to entire Guru Parampara. Sada Shiva Samarambha Shankaracharya Madhyama Asmadacharya Paryanta Vande Guru Parampara. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. My pranams to all of you, all the Atma Jyotis gathered here to study and understand Patanjali Yoga Sutra. My pranams to all of you. I am very happy that you have joined. We are embarking on a journey to study Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Patanjali Yoga Sutra, it will take some time, maybe 2 years or 3 years. I will try to give my best. I am not a very great philosopher or a great Pandita or anything. I want to let you know that I am doing it, I am teaching it as my part of my sadhana. I myself am learning and I am sharing it. By teaching, I will learn more. With that intention, I am starting this. So let me share my screen and give a small presentation as part of introduction. Let me share my screen. Okay. All right. So today we are going to do an introduction on Patanjali Yoga Sutra, what it is and how we are going to proceed learning it. So first we have to understand some terminologies. There are some Sanskrit terminologies which we should be aware of. One of the terminologies is darshana. What is a darshana? We all know we go to temple and we say we had a darshana of God. That is one kind of darshana. But actual meaning of darshana is to see clearly, with a clarity, with a vision, to have clear understanding about something, a doctrine, a philosophy, that is called a darshana. Okay, a darshana has many meanings in Sanskrit language: paying respect, vision, knowledge, observation, doctrine, philosophy. But traditionally, in Hindu scriptures, when they talk about darshana, they mean a doctrine or a philosophy. So yoga is a darshana. It is called yoga darshana. Okay, that's what we are going to learn. Yoga is a philosophy. What that philosophy is, we are going to learn about it. Okay, so traditionally speaking, there are something called 6 traditional darshanas in India, in Hinduism. 6, they are called Shad Darshana. Shad means 6 darshana. 6 darshanas are there. What are they? They are Sankhya, Nyaya, Yoga, Vaisheshika, Mimamsa, and Vedanta. Okay, what they are, I will explain. So, what are they? Sankhya, Nyaya, Yoga, Vaisheshika, Mimamsa, and Vedanta. These are the Shad Darshana as per Hindu tradition. Okay. So, what are they? We will go one by one. If you want to take notes, you can take notes. However, the plan is to share these PPTs also with you at a later stage. So, if you want to take notes, you can take notes. Otherwise, these PPTs will be converted to PDFs and will be shared with you. What is Sankhya? Sankhya is a philosophy, darshana, based on the teachings of Kapila Maharshi. Sage Kapila, in Bhagavata Purana, Kapila is considered an avatara of Vishnu. But let us not go into that kind of theistic interpretations. There was a sage Kapila at some point of time. He has given the basic tenets of Sankhya philosophy. He is the founder of Sankhya philosophy. His writings, his teachings are not available now. The Sankhya school is almost, the Kapila teachings are not available to anybody. So there is another book on Sankhya, I think Sankhya Karika or something. That is, people are reading that. As per Sankhya philosophy, Darshana, universe is made up of Purusha and Prakriti. Purusha is consciousness and Prakriti is matter. There are 2 fundamental principles in the universe, Purusha and Prakriti. Purusha is the consciousness which you cannot see, and Prakriti is the matter which you can see. What happens is this Purusha, there are many Purushas as per Sankhya system. And also Sankhya gives 24 tattvas and all, how the universe has come, cosmos has come, all that they have explained. So this Purusha, what happens is, this Purusha, you are a Purusha, I am a Purusha, everybody are a Purusha. Purusha does not mean man or woman. Purusha means consciousness, a spark of consciousness. So you are a Purusha, I am a Purusha. Everybody are Purushas only. This Purusha somehow gets attracted or enmeshed with Prakriti, the matter, and hence suffering ensues. And when the Purusha realizes that he is separate from Prakriti, he is not under the influence of Prakriti, he somehow understands that he is different from Prakriti and he is not under the influence of Prakriti, he or she attains liberation, salvation. See, the entire darshanas, the concept of philosophy is to show a path to the seeker to get out of the suffering of the world. First, you have to understand is there is suffering in the world. How do I get out of the suffering of my life? If you want to get out of suffering, there are different philosophies. So Sankhya explains that there is Purusha and Prakriti. Purusha is consciousness, Prakriti is matter. Purusha gets somehow attracted or attached to Prakriti and suffering comes, and Purusha somehow separates from the Prakriti through some practices and he or she attains liberation. So there are many Purushas in Sankhya system. Okay. This is oldest school, and right now there are not many who are studying and practicing this. But this forms the basis of many other schools. Nyaya. What is Nyaya? Nyaya is based on teachings of Maharshi Gautama. Gautama Maharshi's teaching. It is based on logic and reasoning. Logic and reasoning. Indian school of logic and epistemology. What is epistemology? Epistemology is theory of knowledge. What is knowledge? What are the valid sources of knowledge? How do you know that knowledge is true? How can you say that this knowledge is correct and that knowledge is incorrect? All that rules are established in Nyaya system. So sage Gautama is the founder of this Nyaya system. Okay. Then you have yoga. Yoga, of course, as you might know, is based on teachings of sage Patanjali. Yoga is about union of the individual with the collective, the universal. That is yoga. What are the methods? What are the theory and all? We are going to study. But here I am going to tell you in a very brief manner what is yoga. Ashtanga Yoga as explained in Patanjali Yoga Sutra, which we are going to study. So this is what we are going to study. So I'm not spending any time on this. Then we have something called Vaisheshika. Vaisheshika. It is based on teachings of sage Kannada. Vaisheshika is also known as Kashyapa, sage Kashyapa. It talks about theories of creation, how the universe formed from atoms. The first, long before atomic theory came into picture, Kannada was the one who talked about atoms making up the universe, and he talked about laws of motion, dharma, soul, moksha, all this he has explained. This is the first book of physics in the world. It is Vaisheshika Sutras. Kannada is the sage Kannada. Okay. Then we have something called Mimamsa. Mimamsa school, it is called as Purva Mimamsa. These are based on the teachings of Vedas. Teachings of Vedas constitute of Karmakanda, Brahmanas and Aranyakas. Karmakanda, Brahmanas and Aranyakas. Mostly Vedic rituals. Mostly Vedic rituals. The concept is you do a ritual, yajna, in a proper manner, explained as per the Shastras, and you attain your desires, and you attain heaven as if you do certain yajnas. Mostly ritualistic in nature. This is called Purva Mimamsa because this forms the before aspect of Vedas. Mostly ritualistic. Then we have something called Vedanta. Vedanta is another school, another philosophy, another darshana. It is called Uttara Mimamsa. This is based on teachings of sage Badarayana Vyasa and Upanishads. The canonical texts in Vedanta are Prasthanatraya. What are they? Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads and Brahma Sutras. These are called Prasthanatraya. Shankaracharya was the first one who has systematized this Vedanta system, and he has written bhashya on Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads and Brahma Sutras, which are basis of Advaita school of Vedanta. Vedanta again have many sub-schools, many different schools. Later to Shankaracharya came Ramanujacharya, and he established Vishishtadvaita school of Vedanta. Later to that came Madhvacharya. He established Dvaita school of Vedanta. So this is based on Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads and Brahma Sutras. So this is about Vedanta in brief. However, there is another school. It is called Charvaka school, the oldest school anywhere in the world and still surviving and being practiced. It is take loans, eat, drink and make merry. Okay, enjoy. There is nothing called morality or ethics. This is the oldest school of philosophy and followed by majority of people and still surviving. As you can see in the world, this is the philosophy most people follow. Eat, drink and merry. Okay, this is called Charvaka school of philosophy. So entire religion, Dharma Shastras, they say, don't follow this, follow Dharma. Don't just be immoral and unethical, follow morals and ethics. So how much we follow Charvaka school, how much we follow Dharma is a question mark. Okay, so make a note. This is not a something to be don't think that it is just came by chance. This is a philosophy. This philosophy has strong foundations in society. Society happily follows this philosophy even today. Okay, so just beware. Just beware and don't follow this. You have to follow the path shown by the Dharma Shastras, proper Dharma Shastras, morality and ethics, and beyond spirituality. Then We also have schools of Indian philosophy, which are not based on Vedic system. They are Jainism, which is based on teachings of 24 Tirthankaras. Based on teachings of 24 Tirthankaras. They stress on ahimsa, non-violence, strict austerities, no mention of a god, not based on Vedas. This is Jainism. Jainism has extensive scriptural basis and practices, rigorous practices, austerities, strict vows. They have entire philosophy that takes lifetime to study or practice. Then comes Buddhism. Buddhism was around 500 BC. Gautam Buddha, Shakya Muni came, and it is based on teachings of Gautam Buddha. After Buddha left, there are three or four main schools of Buddhism. They are Theravada, Mahayana, and Vajrayana. Theravada came in 250 BC, is the oldest Buddhist school, and Mahayana around 100 BC. Nagarjuna is considered a great philosopher after Buddha in Buddhism. He is considered equal to Buddha. He has written Mula Madhyama Karika, a book on his theory of emptiness. This forms the basis for Zen Buddhism and other types of Buddhism which follow emptiness principle. Then Vajrayana, 7th century AD, which is Tibetan Buddhism. So here we have, this is what India has produced so far, these many things. Now we'll move on to definition of what is a sutra. What is a sutra? A sutra is an aphorism, a short statement that packs a lot of meaning. It's an encoded, codified statement. It requires decoding by an acharya to understand a sutra. So, if you want to postulate something, you want to put a formula, and formula has to be explained by somebody. Formula will be a small statement, short statement, 3 or 4 words. If you read those 3 or 4 words, you will not be able to understand. So, it requires somebody to write a commentary on that to explain in detail what is that sutra is all about. Sutra also means a collection of sutras as a manual or a textbook. So that is a sutra. Okay. So we have examples of sutra. One is Yogasutra, which we are going to study. We have Brahma Sutra, which is the basis of Vedanta, which was written by Badara and Vyasa. And we have Vaisheshika Sutra. Panini's Vyakarana Sutras are also there. Panini has written Sutra on grammar, Sanskrit grammar. So that is an extensive book. People still follow Panini's grammar sutras to understand how grammar is structured in Sanskrit. Then we have Dharma Sutras, Sutras of Buddhism, Sutras of Jainism. All these are there. Then we have Yoga Sutra, a text written by, a sutra written by sage Patanjali. It has 4 chapters. Now we are coming to our subject. Yoga Sutra has 4 chapters. 4 chapters are Samadhipada, Sadhanapada, Vibhudipada, Kaivalyapada. It has 4 chapters. It has total 195 sutras. We are going to take 1 sutra per weekend, and we are going to spend 195 to 200 weekends to study this Yoga Sutra. That will be about 3 to 4 years time frame. Okay. Sage Patanjali. Let us learn something about Sage Patanjali, Maharshi Patanjali. There is no information on the life and times of Sage Patanjali. Supposed to be 4th century BC. 3 works are attributed to him. They are Yogasutra for psychological health, for the mind. Yogasutra is not for doing yogasanas. Yogasutra is for mind, controlling the mind. And then he has written a bhashya on the Panini's grammar. It is called Mahabhashya. It's a great work. It's a huge work. That Mahabhashya he has written for the health of speech, rectification of speech. Then he has written a Vartika on Charaka Samhita. It's a medical book for bodily health. So Sage Patanjali has done an enormous good for the humanity by taking care of mental health, verbal health, and physical health. Therefore, we always bow down in respect to Sage Patanjali. Therefore, let us pray to Sage Patanjali. Repeat after me. Yogena Chittasya Padena Vacha Malam Sharirasya Cha Vaidyakena Yopakarottam Pravaram Munina Patanjalim Pranjalim Anatosmi Nityam. So, Patanjali, we bow down to Sage Patanjali, who has given Yoga Sutras for refinement of mind, refinement of speech, and refinement of physical health. Then we have to understand that there was a commentary written on Yoga Sutra, which is Yoga Bhashya. It's a commentary, explanation, elaborate explanation of the Yoga Sutras. This commentary is attributed to somebody by name Vyasa. Now historians say this Vyasa may not be same as Badarayana Vyasa. This could be a different Vyasa. They say like that. Whatever it is called Vyasa Bhashya on Yoga Sutra. Some historians feel that Yoga Sutra and explanation on it, Yoga Bhashya, are written by Sage Patanjali himself. That may be true also. We don't know. To understand Yoga Sutra, we have to study through Yoga Bhashya. If you don't follow Yoga Bhashya, you cannot understand Yoga Sutra. So, in this study, what we are going to do, we are going to take the help of Yoga Bhashya to understand the Yoga Sutra. Okay? There are other medieval commentaries on Yoga Sutra. There was a person, great scholar, great jnani by name Vachaspati Mishra, around 900 AD. He has written a commentary on Yoga Sutra called Tattva Vaisharadi. And in the 11th century AD, Bhojaraja has written a commentary on Yoga Sutra called Rajamartanda. In the 16th century AD, Vijnana Bhikshu has written a commentary on Yoga Sutra called Yoga Vartika. Vijnana Bhikshu is a Vaishnava scholar. He tried to give a understanding of the Yoga Sutras from the Vaishnava tradition, Bhakti tradition. And in the 16th century AD, there was a work called Yoga Maniprabha by Ramananda Saraswati. These are the medieval commentaries on Yoga Sutras. In the modern commentaries, we have a book by Swami Vivekananda in 1896 by name Raja Yoga. It's a explanation on Yoga Sutra by none other than Swami Vivekananda, the great Swami Vivekananda. If you get a chance to read, please read Raja Yoga by Swami Vivekananda. Then there are lot of commentaries exist. One of the commentaries with yoga on Yoga Sutra with Yoga bhashya in English is by Ganganand Jha in 1906. There are so many commentaries available on Yoga Sutras. So what are we going to study? We will study Yoga Sutra as explained in Yoga bhashya. We will not go beyond Vyasa bhashya. We will take up a sutra. We will see what Vyasa has said, and we will try to understand that, and we will proceed. Schedule of study hour will be Sundays 10 a.m. on Zoom session. Recording. Every session will be recorded and uploaded into our YouTube channel. YouTube link will be sent in our WhatsApp group. Purpose of this study. What is the purpose of this study? We want to study and understand Yoga Sutra and Yoga bhashya and apply it in our lives, which can transform us so that we can go beyond suffering. Application of theory is very, very important. Not just understanding the theory, we have to apply it. Swami Vivekananda said, 1 ounce of practice is worth 1,000 pounds of theory. Please remember this. This is worth gold, because there are so many people who study books, who learn something, and armchair experts, but they don't practice. You have to practice. You have to practice compassion. You have to practice giving, sharing, caring, loving. You have to practice that. You have to practice vairagya. You have to practice how to let go. Once you practice that only, 1 ounce of practice is worth 1,000 pounds of theory. Okay. Sankalpa. Let us take a Sankalpa. Sankalpa means statement of intention and resolution invoking divine help in completing this study. Let us take a Sankalpa to study Yoga Sutra. Repeat after me. O Ishvara, O Lord, we bow down to you. We are starting on the journey of studying Patanjali Yoga Sutra. We seek your blessings to complete the study. Please shower your grace on us and make sure that the study proceeds and completes successfully. Please bless all of us with health, wealth, prosperity, bhakti, jnana, vairagya, and bless us with liberation from the suffering in the world. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Any questions?
No, not at this stage.
Okay.
I have a small question, Prabhuji.
Yes. Your name, please?
My name is Nagesh Pai.
Nagesh. Very nice to meeting you.
So the Vaisheshika school of thought you mentioned deals with the principle of creation and how the universe or the creation was made out of atoms, laws of motion physics, as you mentioned. In the past, I've also heard that the Rig Veda deals with a lot of the similar aspects. So are there parallels in this, or are there roots or linkages between these two, or are these completely independent? Forgive me if this is a slight.
I am not an expert on Rig Veda or Vaisheshika, but I can tell you that Rig Veda is considered a Shruti, Apaurushaya. Okay? And Vaisheshika Sutras are written by a person. So there is a lot of difference between them.
Sure, sure.
Okay?
More clear, certainly.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Anybody has anything to share? Okay. If nobody else has a question, from next week onwards, next week we'll study first chapter, first sutra, and we'll study Vyasa bhashya on that. It may not be able to complete in 1 hour. We will need to take it 2 hours on that. But we will end at 11 o'clock, and next week we will continue where we have left. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.